I want to give you a formula for working out the sum of a geometric series. So that means I'm adding together the terms for a certain number of terms. Okay, so obviously a geometric series that starts off with a first term, which we're going to call a, and then each time it's going to go up by multiplying by r. So if I have a times r, that's the second term. Then if I multiply that by r, I get a to the r squared. If I multiply that by r, I'm going to, what am I going to get? I'm going to get a to the r cubed, okay, and so forth. Now I'm going to stop after n terms. So just have a quick note here. This is the same thing that happened with the arithmetic sequence. Notice here I've got the first term, second term, third term, fourth term. Notice if I'm going to the nth term, I'm going to end up with a to the r n minus 1. Okay, so that's good. I've got that. Only problem is I actually have to literally work out every term in order to do this. So I'm going to do a little bit of maths trickery to get a simpler formula to use. And so it's not going to be obvious why I'm doing what I'm doing, but once you see the result, you'll see that there's a formula. You can use that formula. You don't actually have to know where it comes from, but it's kind of cool to know, right? So I'm going to go here. I'm going to multiply r times Sn, which means that the other side is going to turn into AR. Okay, so I'm just taking the A there, multiplying it by R, taking that AR, multiplying that by AR. Oh, so basically every term is moving one across, isn't it? Right? AR cubed plus AR4. And I'm going to go all the way up, dot, to ARN. Right, because I had one less than n before, and I multiply it by an r, I'm going to have an extra one. Cool. That doesn't make life any easier. What if I were to say s of n minus r of s of n? So basically, I'm going to be subtracting the bottom line from the top line, and what you're going to notice is that a lot of those terms are the same, right? So if I cancel that off against there, there against there, there against there, and this one would cancel off against one and there, and that would cancel off against the second to last one, which would be about here. It's in the dot, and so I'm going to be left with that, and I'm going to be left with this. So that would be equal to undo. Write it in blue, it looks nicer. Right, a minus a r to the n. That looks a lot simpler. It's got, doesn't have an infinite or a large number of terms anymore. I could factorize out the Sn. So I just have 1 minus r. And I'm now left with this. This is starting to look more interesting. And what I actually want to have is Sn equals something. So I could divide that bracket onto the other side. And there's my formula. Oh my gosh. Is that right? Yeah, that looks right. Lovely. So that is the formula that you will find on your sheet, give or take. It is this formula that you have. I think we may actually, when we give you the formula, we may want to write it just as 1 minus r to the n all over 1 minus r. So that's a formula you can use. You know what r is. Hopefully reading the question, you'll know what r is, you'll know what n is, you'll know what a is, and that will allow you to work out that. You don't have to derive this yourself. You can just use what I have given you. And I hope that helps you to understand why.